Good day, and welcome to the Introduction to D365. This session will provide you with an overview of the software D365 and walk you through basic navigation in the system. When you click on the URL or hyperlink that has been provided, you will log into D365 using your organization username and password. You get to the main dashboard, which is the default homepage for each user. Your dashboard would be reflective of your role in the organization. This is the default dashboard in D365. On the top left-hand corner of your page, when you sign in, you get to see the navigation bar. Click the navigation pane, which looks like a hamburger, to expose the navigation pane. This will show you your favorites, your home, any recent areas you have been to in D365, your workspaces, and your modules. The modules you are able to access are based on your predetermined security profile. Modules are main pages of information. You are able to pin the navigation pane by clicking on this pin here. This will keep the navigation fixed and always visible. If you need more room on your web page, you can unpin the navigation pane to get more room and hide the navigation pane. In D365, when you get to your modules in the navigation pane and going to modules and selecting a module that you have access to, what you are able to see is an area page. And this is the main screen in a module. You are able to expand all and collapse all depending on what you would like to view. You're able to expand areas in the area page to see main screens in the module. For instance, I would like to see all vendors, and if I click on that, the system takes me to the details page of all vendors. One thing that you see on your navigation pane is your current location of wherever you are in the system. So right up here where I've highlighted, this lets you know where you are in the system. In this instance, I am in accounts payable vendors, all vendors. I am going to close out from this screen now by clicking the X button on my far right-hand side. One of the features you have in D365 is the ability for you to add to your favorites. When I expand the navigation pane and I go to any of my modules, because there are many areas I could go to, and if I need to be able to get somewhere really quickly and somewhere that I go to quite frequently, I can add that area to my favorites. And to do that, all I need to do is to click on the star icon next to the item I want to add to my favorite list. In this instance, I will click on all vendors. I'll see the star. I will navigate there and click to add to my favorites. Once I have done that, Back on my navigation pane, if I expand my favorites, I can see that I have all vendors there. And when I click on that, it automatically takes me to the same all vendors screen that we have been to, and also gives me the right path on how to get there. I will close out of this window now. In your navigation pane, you're able to see your legal entity, and that is what this WILL will stands for. You also have the on your navigation bar, you also have a search bar that enables you to quickly search for items or pages that you do not know how to get to. In this instance, I will click on this magnifying glass, which is the search function, and I'm going to start typing the name of a place I would like to go to in D365, and the system will show me the navigation path below. The system has provided me with a lot of choices of what I have entered. I am able to see if it is a workspace. I'm able to see the path on how to get there. And in this instance, I will just click on the vendor invoice entry workspace. And the system takes me there. I will close out of here to go back to my main dashboard. Back on your main dashboard, still on your navigation bar, you're able to click on this message icon to see what messages you have. This can be used to identify approvals or any other messages. Right now, I have identified that I have one message. I will click on that to show my message. And once I have reviewed my message, I can click the clear all to delete all the messages once I have taken appropriate action. I will click back on the icon and it will close out my messages. For some reason, I need to scroll up and down to get us to the top. I apologize for that. Still on your navigation bar, you're able to click on the cogwheel here, which provides you with your settings. This shows individual user settings for you. When you click on that, you're able to go to your user options. And by clicking this, you're able to change your current user options. So for instance, from a visual perspective, you're able to change the color and size of your display. Currently, my color is orange, and I'm going to change that to raspberry, and I can also change the size of my display. Once I click Save and Close Out, you can see that my main dashboard has reflected the changes I have made to my user options. I will give you a few moments for you to try this. Remember, click on the cogwheel on your navigation bar, which is the settings. Select your user options. You're going to see visual. Select the color theme that appeals to you, as well as a size that is appropriate for you. Click Save. Click the X on the far right-hand side of your screen, and you should see the changes are now reflected. I hope you were able to take on that little hands-on lab. Still back on our user options by clicking on the settings cogwheel. We're also able to see some preferences. So we're able to review our language settings. We're also able to review our time zone information. Personally, I am in the Eastern time zone. Your time zone might already be set to Central time zone. If it is not, you have the option to change and ensure that your time zone is reflective of where you are. You also have account information on your far left-hand side. When I click on that, I'm able to see information related to me. My user ID, my name, and any other aliases that are associated with me. When I click on the Workflow tab and I expand Delegation, I'm able to use this to assign a delegate. Think of this as assigning duties to other users while you are out on vacation or out on sick leave. I can do that by clicking Add, and I can specify what kind of transactions I would like to delegate. If I like to delegate workflow approval transactions, and I'll specify who the user is, which of the workflows I want, who the user is that is being delegated, and when the start date and time for this delegation would last, and then I will enable this and close out. I will just remove this. Bear in mind that you have the ability to you have access to this functionality. So when you're going on vacation and you realize you're in a chain of a workflow approval process, you can perform this delegation process. I will close out of the user options now. Still back on the navigation pane, we also have the help functionality, and this is signified by this question mark that is on the far right-hand side. If you click on the help and support, you're able to get some help related to any information that you need to find out about the software. You can use the search functionality, and this will go to the internet and help you find information that has been published by Microsoft related to the issue that you are currently having. I will close out of the help functionality. Looking at our workspaces, back at our dashboard, we'll talk about workspaces briefly. And all these tiles you see on here, these are pre-configured workspaces that can be adjusted to you. Remember, the workspace that you see on your dashboard are reflective of your role in the organization. So your screen may look different from mine. I have access to everything. If you're an accounts payable person, your screen will look totally different. If you're in procurement and sourcing, yours would look different from mine. Same thing if you're in project management and accounting, it will look different from mine. I will go ahead and click on one of the pre-configured workspaces so that you can see the functionality that is behind workspaces. I'll scroll down and I would look for vendor invoice entry. The workspace is a one-stop shop for you. It helps you to be able to perform simple tasks just from one screen, and it will help you to actually reduce navigation. Another thing is that it has a visual impact. You're able to see some numbers associated with types of transactions. So for instance, I am seeing that I have 117 pending invoices. I have one that's on hold, and I have one item that is assigned to me. So you do have a visual impact. by using the workspaces. All workspaces, regardless of which workspace you're in, have a similar layout of tiles, which are these boxes we have over here, lists, which are grid format, and links, which are hyperlinks that take you to areas within the system. I will close out of the vendor invoice entry workspace, and I'll show you a project management workspace so that you can see the similarities with workspaces. So this is the project management workspace. See how similar it is to the vendor invoice entry workspace. We have our summary with our tiles over here. We've got our list with our grids in the middle, and we've got our hyperlinks on the far right-hand side. Same similar layout, but different functionality based on which workspace you are in and your role in the organization. I will close out from the workspace. Let's take a quick break. So I hope you were able to digest all that information that I have provided to you. I hope you were able to take a look at your workspaces and look at the functionality that's behind that. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about on our main dashboard is work items assigned to me. And work items assigned to me would basically be messages that you would receive from workflows that are assigned to you, and they would appear here. If you click on a link, it will take you to the workflow information and give you the option to approve. So this is work items assigned to me. So now let's go into D365 and take a look at the functionality within the system. I'm going to open up a menu item as all vendors, which I had in my favorites. When I open this up, I will see an action pane at the top of the screen, and this gives me available actions to perform on this page. So for instance, I am able to place vendors on hold, copy information, perform some setup, review transactions, update tax 1099 information, and review related information related to vendors. In addition, I can click on different tabs which expose different actions that can be performed. So that was the procurement tab. Now we've got our invoice tab, and you see different actions on here. We've got our general tab, and we've got our options. We have the same look and feel in every module. For instance, I will take a look and go to project management and accounting and click on all projects, and you will see that we've got that same look and feel. So this is all projects, remember, we have our navigation path at the top of the screen, and then now we've got different actions depending on the action pane that we are on. So on the project tab, we have different actions. We have a plan tab, a manage tab, a control tab, and an options tab. I will navigate back to the all vendors by using my favorites. And if you want to open up a menu item, what you need to do is click on the hyperlink, and this will bring up the information that you want. So for instance, I want to take a look at this vendor automatic data processing. I click on the hyperlink associated with the vendor account number, which is number 17. When I click on that, I'm able to see vendor information. So, such as the name, the search name, address information, contact information, and any other miscellaneous information. I will close out of the vendor screen. One of the things that we're able to see in any of the list pages, so let's go back to the vendor screen, is we're able to see fact boxes on the far right-hand side, and this provides us additional information, related information to the record that we are on. So for instance, back on this vendor, which is automatic data processing, instead of me to click on the hyperlink, I can expand this related information tab here, and I'm able to see information related to their primary address, any recent activity, and whatever roles and relationships they have in the organization. I can also do the same thing in project management and accounting, and I'll go to all projects. Let me close out of here. All projects. I'm on a project number 1, and on the right-hand side, I see related information. I can see actual start dates, who the project manager is, project forecast, project costs. I will close out the related information. So that is your fact box. One other thing that we have with regards to functionality in D365 is attachments. Attachments allow you to add files, notes, or any kind of documentation, including pictures, to records in the system. To access attachments anywhere in D365 that you are at, you are able to see the paperclip icon. When you click on that and you click on New, you have the option to attach a file, an image, a note, or even a link. In this instance, I'm going to attach a note. I'll give the note a description and enter in note details. If a restriction is internal, this note would remain internal to Will County. If the restriction is external, this information can be printed out on documents that are going out, such as a purchase order or a project invoice. In this instance, I will leave it as internal. Once I save and close out, I will notice that the project that I had modified the attachment on now has a number associated with it to let me know that I do have one record attached to this information. So once I click here, I take a look here, I see I have one. Once I click on the paper link clip, I'm able to see my note. Other records on here, you see once I move, paperclip icon has 0, giving me a current count that I have no records associated in the system. I'm going to close out of here. One of the functionalities that we have in D365 ability to create a task recorder. So a task recorder is a step-by-step recording of the tasks that you have taken within D365. I will go ahead and show you how the task recorder is initiated, and this may help you sometime in the future. I just want to let you know that you have this functionality available to you. To access the task recorder in D365, just go to the cogwheel with your settings, click on that and select Task Recorder. Click Create Recording. Enter in your recording name. In this instance, I'm going to enter in an invoice. Enter an invoice. And if you have the ability to capture screenshots, that is fine. You can do that. Once you click on Start, you'll notice that you have this red button over here that is showing you that you are recording, and you go ahead and start performing your task. In this instance, I'm just going to create a very quick accounts payable invoice, following the steps that I have in the back of my mind. On New. Enter in my invoice account. Coming down to choose a procurement category. The folks who are going to benefit from this are the AP invoice folks, because they're used to this. They're going to learn how to do this. I'm just going to choose office supplies. I think that's an easy one. And once I'm done, I'll enter in some financial dimensions, some project information, check my financial dimensions, everything is fine, update my match status, and submit to workflow. Once I have done this, I will close out of the system. I will stop my task recorder, and I'll export this as a Word document. And I'll just wait for a few seconds for the system to generate the Word document for me. And this is the document that just got created by the task recorder, and it is documenting each of the steps that I had just taken, entering in an invoice, going to accounts payable, invoices pending vendor invoices, clicking on new, entering in the account field, and choosing an invoice account, entering in a number, clicking add line, documenting the procurement categories, and then attaching a it even repeated some of the steps that I took because I chose the procurement category twice. It recorded that for me. I finally chose office supplies. I clicked OK, and then I had entered in my quantity, my unit price, and the unit, which was each's. I went to the project field and I chose my project, and I also checked my financial dimensions. And once I was done, I updated the match status and I clicked on workflow, and the system recorded everything that I have. So this is the task recorder, which is a tool that you have available to you in D365. I will close out from my task recorder area here. I want to show you one other functionality within D365. If you go to any tables, say for instance, your pending vendor invoices, one of the functionality you have is the ability to export to Excel. So if you click on export to Excel and click on download, you have the ability to get a copy of your screen in Excel. And you can slice and dice in whichever manner that you want to use. Finally, before we wrap up, one of the things I would like to show you is how to search in list pages. So if you are in any page, any list page that has a lot of information, such as this one, which is our pending vendor invoices, you have the ability to search and minimize the amount of information that's on your screen. Okay, so in this instance, I probably am looking for a specific vendor. Let's say the vendor is A1 Vacuum, right? So I would first of all, with the information in the name field, I'll click on the name field. When I do that, I get the option to select the name by either using one of the options of begins with, contains, it's exactly. Let's assume I don't know what it's really called, so I'll just say it contains the word vacuum in it. Once I write that down and I click apply, the system automatically filters and provides me with information related to this record that I have looked for, which is A1 Vacuum. Once I'm done with my search, I can open back up that tab and click clear on my search functionality, and I get my list back to where I need it to be. Another thing that you can do is here you can also filter and sort, sort from A to Z or Z to A. If I click on this name field, I have the ability to sort from Z to A. And I also have the ability to sort from A to Z. Also here on this purchase order field, same thing. I can sort by purchase orders A to Z. And those that are don't have any records are the first there because I chose Z to A, and then now I'm going to choose Z to A. Sorry, I said that backwards. Now I choose Z to A, and the ones from the bottom all show up. So you have the ability to filter, sort, and query in any manner that you would in a on a list in D365. So I'm going to close out of here. I am back on my main dashboard. I would like to thank you for attending today's session. I would like you to take a review of what we've covered today, try and perform some queries, sorting and filtering within lists and tables using the contains functionality, and I hope you'll be able to use the task recorder soon, and I'll look forward to talking to you in another session. Have a wonderful day.